Hey everybody, welcome back to the Factory Reset Chat. Today is a different one. We're going to be going over something I actually saw in a forum. I can't remember if it was Jiu-Jitsu or if it was one of the other fight forums where people post opinions and talk and stuff like that. But it was a very interesting opinion-based conversation, and it had really the comments split. So we want to talk about that today because it's something that I actually have some pretty decent opinions on, but want to make sure that, I want to leave it open for you guys to comment, and I also want to hear Cassie's take on it. So an individual put in the chat, asked a question, and they had been, training at a gym for, I think it was like 3 to 4 years, and they said to the group, do you need to have fight experience to be a coach? This individual wanted to start coaching, but had never stepped into a ring before. All right, never had stepped into a cage before, never had competed before in their life. They had been training, but they wanted to start coaching. So it brought on a lot of different comments, different people's opinions. Some people said, absolutely, you need to have been a fighter or a competitor to have the ability to coach athletes to be fighters and competitors. Others said that no, as long as you know the techniques, as long as you know your stuff, you can coach somebody to be a fighter. Mm-hmm. And specifically, that's what this guy wanted to do. He wanted to coach fighters, but he himself had never fought.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just like coaching an athlete. It's not being like,
my answer.
Yeah, it's not just like, hey, I want to teach people jiu-jitsu. I know jiu-jitsu, but I've never competed before. He wanted to specifically train fighters to fight, to be fighters, to get into the cage, get into the ring, so on. He himself had never done it. So, and then coming from the CrossFit world yourself, training competitive athletes, if you've never been a competitive athlete. And I know you're a competitive athlete, you've been a competitive athlete in multiple disciplines, soccer, CrossFit, things like that, triathlons, things like that, but you've competed in. However, if you had never done any of those at a competition level, would you be competent or capable of training somebody to do that? And we didn't prep for this one, by the way. So this is just off the top of Cassie's head.
So I think that it really depends, and this was kind of going to be my answer when you first asked me. It depends on the culture of the gym that he's in, right?
Meaning what? Like, what do you mean?
In the sense of, like, is the gym that you are at, are they full of competitors? Or is the gym that you're at just people that are coming in to learn the sport?
So your answer is basically like, if what they can't get from you, can they get from others?
Well, so CrossFit is a perfect example, right? Because in every single CrossFit gym, you are going to have your group of athletes that want to compete, love it, thrive it, need it. And then you're going to have your other group of athletes that come in that are just there to be in good shape so that they can live a healthy life or look good naked. You take your pick.
Or the ones who just want to work out so they can eat a steak in the evening, or eat a cake in the evening, which pisses Cassie off. That's why I said it.
So for me as a coach, when I decided I wanted to coach CrossFit, I knew that based off of the level that I was at, I could go in and I could coach a CrossFit class and be successful at it. What I knew I couldn't.
Because you were a competitor, or because you were athletic, or like, for what metric did you use?
Just based off of the knowledge that I knew. Okay. I knew that I could go in and coach a CrossFit class. What I knew I could not do was I knew I could not take a competitive athlete to the next level to get them to the games, which is like the Olympics of CrossFit. Mm-hmm. So I knew my limitations, but I also didn't have a desire to coach at that stage of my life. When I first started coaching, I didn't have the desire to take a competitive athlete and get them to the next level. I was willing to be a training partner for those people. Mm-hmm. Like I'm willing to work out next to you and push you in whatever capacity that I can be for you. But I was never the one that was going to sit there and say, you know what, I know how you can take 2 minutes off your time and this is what we're going to do. Like, I wasn't that person. Mm-hmm. But I knew that. But I could still go in and coach a really well done CrossFit
Do you
class.
think you could have gotten to that level where you could tactically help people
if
make
I
those
wanted,
changes?
If I ever wanted to, yeah.
Could you do it without being a games athlete yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So, and why do you think that is?
So there are actually a lot of coaches and programmers out there that coach and program specifically for games athletes that have never made it to the games themselves. But that's because, in my opinion, you have two types of athletes that can make it to the games and are successful. And those two types of athletes are the ones that can enter what we call the pain cave and they don't care, they keep pushing, or those that just don't have any kind of like pain. It's almost like the people that can't feel pain. Like there is no limit. So they can just push their body far harder than anybody out there. But you can program and you can understand programming for somebody to get them to that level, even if you personally can't be at that level.
You can understand the tactics without physically being able to do it
Yeah.
themselves. So my argument on this actually has changed multiple times because every single time I think about it, I'm like, oh, no, it's definitely this. Oh, well, maybe you can do it over here, which actually makes the opinions on this much more interesting to actually hear what others have to say about it.
Yeah.
Because I was a competitive fighter. All right. I fought in the ring. I fought, out of everything I did, MMA was the very least amount of things that I did. So I only did MMA a couple of times. Fighting in the ring, bunch of times. Fighting on the mats for jiu-jitsu, bunch of times. Street fighting, stupid shit like that when I was a kid, bunch of times. So I understand not only the risks, what it takes, the mental, like all of the steps that your mind goes through for this. And people will say like the more you do something, the less you're nervous about doing it. That's building confidence.
Yeah.
For me, that is true until I start fighting, right? Until my very last fight, I still had nerves about fighting, right? And you have fighters, top level fighters. I remember Donald Cerrone, Cowboy Cerrone, who is local around here too. He actually hired a mental coach for nerves late into his UFC career.
Yeah.
Right, because it was affecting his performance. There's a lot of top level athletes that still hire mental coaches to help them through mental issues in their training, mental blocks, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing that was interesting is like, I've said it on previous videos, and I've told people at home, live by this. If you don't want to be like bothered by other people's opinions and comments, is don't accept constructive criticism from somebody who hasn't constructed anything.
Yeah.
Right? And it's something that I absolutely live by as like a mental health, like kind of like facet in my life is I don't take nor care about the opinions of people who haven't done what I've done or who are not at where I want to be. Right? So if you're like the fat bald guy on Instagram commenting, like we get him so much, commenting on one of our videos like, oh, you could never armbar me. Like, bro, diabetes is going to get you first before I ever have to.
Oh, well, damn.
It's like, but I know I'm being a little harsh, but like you get these like old Cheeto fingered guys in their basements,
I get it,
bald,
Charles.
overweight, 350 pounds, like never moved a day in their life. And they want to criticize everybody.
All right.
Right?
Anywho, what
no,
is your
I
opinion?
want to go on this because this is my rant on this specific thing. But I think it plays into a factor, right? Because if you've never fought before, how can you possibly explain to a fighter how to get through the things that you've never experienced them going through?
So I think in the fight world, that is a very valid point. And that was kind of where my answer to the question changed when he said that he wanted to actively corner people. And I was like, how can you actively corner people if you've never been in the ring or in the cage or in a jiu-jitsu match? Like, I don't know, like...
You can understand the tactics. Don't get me wrong. I can understand how to throw a punch, how to show people how to punch, which direction they should be moving when an individual is attacking this way or doing that way or whatever. But there is more to the emotional, mental side. Like, how do you calm a fighter down?
But then
like
I
in between
also-
rounds? How do you bring their focus back?
Yeah.
Like how do you, if you've never done that, and there's like, you can learn it, but do you really know what a fighter's going through if you've never done it?
Well, I guess so. My follow-up question to that is, are there any people that actively corner right now in the UFC or in ONE or any of those that have never?
And that's what changed my answer. That
But-
question
so there
right
is?
there. Well, absolutely.
Okay.
Funny thing, some of the best coaches in the world
Have never
were never fighters. I mean, look at the NFL.
No, I
Bill
was gonna say,
Belichick.
they're
I don't
soccer-
think that guy ever threw a football.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe,
But
I don't know,
soccer
but
is
maybe,
the
and
same way.
all the New England fans are gonna be like,
Hating it.
"Brah!" throwing the table right now. But that guy coached Tom Brady to how many Super Bowls?
Yeah.
And like look at some of the other like huge coaches, like to Bo's example. If you guys have watched the video with Bo, we talked about how being a world champion athlete doesn't make you a good coach. You know, like and
Yeah, it's
and,
vice versa.
Yeah, and it's
You
like
can be a great athlete and a shitty
I've met
coach.
and I've gone to seminars from like 3-5-time world champions who couldn't coach for shit. Like they were all over the place on what they were talking about, like how they were explaining the moves, the details. They just gloss over it because they can physically do it, but they don't know how to like reiterate to you how they did it.
Yeah.
Like, well, you turn this way, you turn this way, you grab this, angles. Well, what if you're a smaller body? What if you're a bigger body? What if you do this? Oh, well, I don't know, just do it. Like I do it like this.
Figure it out.
You know, but Bo brought up a good point. When was the last time you ever heard of Michael Jordan coaching?
Yeah, never.
He didn't care to. No, he didn't want to. He was an athlete. He was a hell of a worker. He had like a huge standard that he set as the best basketball player of all time. Screw anybody who says it's LeBron. Screw anybody who says it's Kobe. Screw anybody who says it's like it's
calm
MJ. All right, it's MJ. And I will argue that.
Apparently he will fight you.
I will fight you for that. But he never coached.
Yeah.
But could he have coached? I don't think he could have. I don't know if he had the mindset to coach. I think he's capable. Like he obviously knows the game. But do you have the mindset to be a leader, to be a general of the army when you were just like the Achilles of the army?
Yeah.
You know, you're the badass best soldier of the army, but you have to be able to see the overview,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it changed my answer a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, I know of several fairly good coaches that have trained amazing athletes, but they never once themselves fought.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean they don't train in the gym. They don't work out in the gym. They don't train their
Yeah.
athletes or whatever, but
They're
they never
familiar.
once fought.
Yeah, they're familiar with the sport.
And I will say coaching itself takes, like, you have to learn to be a coach.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I have fighters right now that want to take on coaching roles and stuff like that at the gym. And when they first start coaching, they're terrible at it.
Yeah.
And that's not a big deal. I mean, everybody starts
We
somewhere.
were all terrible at
Yeah,
one
we were all
point.
terrible at it when we first started it. And that's what I tell them. I'm like, dude, I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
Like, and the only reason I got better at it was because I just did it more. You just get more confident in it.
Well, not
you
only
plan
that,
it
but
out
you
better.
wanted to be better.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were just like, I'm going to be a shitty coach for forever now.
Right? It's like I had actually no intention when I started coaching or taking over this gym. I had no intention of ever being a coach. This was never my goal.
Yeah.
Right? It just kind of got thrust on me. And then I was just like, okay, well, if this is my thing now, I just have to be the best at it. And so I just started really researching it. I started taking leadership courses, like started like listening to podcasts on it, how other people do it, whatever, right? So then it comes back to, again, can you be a fight coach if you've never fought?
Yes.
Apparently you can.
Or no.
I mean, yeah,
There's no definite answer.
right?
It truly depends on the person.
Yeah, it truly.
You're
I
welcome.
think it truly depends on
You
the
just
person.
sat through 20 minutes of us to tell you there's no right or wrong answer.
Right? So it's an annoying thing because it's like there are people that feel like their limiting factor of them being able to coach is that they never fought in a ring. No, I will tell you, as an athlete, if you can fight in a ring, do it. All right? If like, you know, maybe I have like a career that doesn't allow me to do it, don't make excuses. But I have a lot of jiu-jitsu people that make excuses. I have a lot of people on the mats right now, coaches-wise, who are of the opinion that you should not be able to get past, like, say, a purple belt in jiu-jitsu if you've never competed before. I have people who have very strong opinions about that because they're like, well, how do you know that you can do it if you've never tested yourself? And then other people argue, well, that's what sparring's for. I'm like, yeah, but sparring and fighting is way different. I'll be the first person to tell you that. Sparring and fighting is way different. There's a completely different mental state that you put yourself in when you don't know this other person. They're not your teammate. You have an entire crowd of all of your friends, family, and their friends and family, not only staring at you,
yelling,
heckling you, and telling you to get your ass kicked, telling them to kill you, and you have to put on a display in front of all of these people and fight another individual. It is nerve-wracking, right? I can fight opponents in the gym all day long and never feel nerves.
CrossFit, I still get nervous, but CrossFit's the same way.
Yeah.
You can be the person that has the best time in your class or even in your entire gym day in, day out, and then you go compete, even if it's in a local one, and you've got people yelling, no, she's tired, look, she's slowing down, you can pass her, and then you get your ass handed to you and you come in last place and you're like, wait, what?
Because you started buying into it?
Well, that, or just because you're the best at your gym doesn't mean that you're the best everywhere. But
you get used to the people in your gym.
You get caught up thinking that you are, but
well, we get new black belts, we get new fighters all the time that come into the gym, visitors from different places, and it's funny. It's like all of the black belts will be like, "You got him first? Do I get him first?" Like we almost like start like being like, "Who gets him first?" But then also the other ones of us want to see him, and they want to see how he does against some of our other good guys
before they go.
So not necessarily like we're not going to go, but like, oh, he's got a really good guard. Oh, he's a good wrestler. Yeah. Oh, he's really, really good with his boxing or whatever. And then we start doing the opposite. It's like a puzzle, but none of us are really like, I wouldn't say nervous, maybe a little bit nervous because like, you obviously don't want to get hurt. Yeah. And it's like somebody came into your home turf and like, you don't want to get wrecked in front of all your students. But it's less about that and more about like, oh, this guy's a new challenge. This is fun. But you literally, fun example, we do this for training for our fighters. I'll invite the jiu-jitsu crowd in to come in for a Muay Thai fighters training. And I'll say, hey, I want all of the jiu-jitsu people surround the ring right now. Like this Muay Thai fighter doesn't really know them very well. Like he sees them, whatever, like unless he goes to the jiu-jitsu classes. And we're gonna give this guy 3 rounds. All of you guys are going to act as the audience. And we'll have 30, 40, 50 people around from the Muay Thai crew, Jiu-Jitsu crew, or whatever, acting as the audience. It changes the entire dynamic, even if you know them all. Having them all watch you perform and fight and maybe lose changes everything. And like you get nervous in there and you're just like, I know all of these guys. These guys are all my friends. Yeah. But like it still makes you nervous because they're all watching you perform. Yeah. You have to know how to bring people past that, how to bring their mind back, how to help them when you know that they're in their own head. You can see it. How do you bring them back? So there's a lot of facets to it. So again, going back to your thing, yes and no, right? Yes and no. Like you can be a good fight coach having never fought, but you can also be a good fight coach having fought, but also worked on being a coach. Yeah. So, it's a hard one, and my heart still says no. If you're not a fighter, you can't be a good coach like this because I don't trust somebody who hasn't done it. It's like having a weight loss coach. Like at this old gym that I used to go to, having a weight loss and cardio coach that was about 5'8" and 340 pounds and just could not run a quarter of a mile, but he was running everybody through cardio and sessions. And I'm like, bro, like be the thing that you want people to aspire to. Don't ask somebody to do something as a leader that you yourself would not do, but also go back and forth, but yes, also you can do it. All right, so I want to hear you guys' opinions on this. We want to hear you guys' opinions on this. Let us know what you think. Can you actually be a good fight coach without having ever fought? Or, a good jiu-jitsu coach without having ever competed? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Comment on that, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.